It's been so hot here in California, so I figured, perfect. Let's make a stew. Afritada is only one among the many delicious stews that we have in the Philippines. It's very simple to make, so it's your choice of meat. In this recipe, we're going to be using chicken drumsticks, stewed in tomato sauce with potatoes, bell peppers, and carrots. Let's get started. I have about 1.5 pounds of chicken drumsticks here, because everybody knows that dark meat is superior. First thing we're gonna do is salt our chicken. And ideally, you'd wanna salt this at least an hour ahead of time so that the salt can work its way into the chicken. For this recipe, however, I only let it sit for about 20 minutes and the world did not end. Next, we're gonna prep our vegetables. This will give the chicken more time with the salt. Chop up half of a large onion, and it doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna be cooking this down anyway. Afterwards, take about 3 cloves of garlic and chop that up too. Set it aside and then grab your potatoes. I'm using 3 small yellow potatoes. Just make sure that you're not using those brown russet potatoes because those potatoes disintegrate and disappear within stews. Follow that up with a handful of baby carrots sliced into bite-sized pieces, which is basically just cut in half. You can use normal-sized carrots if you'd like. Finally, slice 1 bell pepper into chunks, making sure you discard and shake out any seeds. Set everything aside and we are ready to cook. Grab a pot that is large enough to fit all the afritada ingredients. Heat up 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil over medium heat. Once the oil is fully heated, we're gonna fry up the chicken drumsticks to brown on all sides. The best part about using drumsticks is getting the bonus fat coming out from the chicken skin. Once the drumsticks are fully browned, take them out, and then we're gonna do the same thing to the potatoes and carrots. Fry them up until they're browned as well, adding a sprinkle of salt halfway through. Set that aside as well, and then throw in the onions. We're gonna be sauteing the onions until they become translucent, and then we're gonna follow it up with garlic, 1 can of tomato paste, and 1 whole bay leaf. I use 2 because they're in smaller broken pieces. Add about a tablespoon of sweetener. Here I used agave syrup. You can use whatever sweetener you have. And then smush them all together. No such thing as too many tomatoes, so let's dump 1 whole can of tomato sauce in the pot, along with 1 cup of chicken stock. Mix, mix, mix until they're well integrated, and then add freshly ground pepper to taste. Cover with a lid and simmer for a few minutes to cook the tomato sauce a bit. Once it's simmered, throw in the chicken drumsticks. Bury those suckers in the sauce before covering with a lid once more to simmer, and this time we'll leave it in there for about 30 minutes. Mix it up about every 10 minutes just to make sure the bottom doesn't burn. Oh, and I almost forgot the MVP ingredient. Fish sauce. Add about a couple of tablespoons of fish sauce, more or less to your taste. After the chicken's been simmering for 30 minutes, throw in the potatoes, carrots, and bell peppers to give them a chance to simmer for another 15 minutes. Add your final dashes of salt, make sure you mix it up very well, and then cover it with a lid for its final simmer. I can't stand undercooked potatoes and carrots, so poke them with a fork to make sure that they are soft. Test both the carrots and the potatoes, and if the fork goes through without much resistance, then it is ready. Turn off the heat, and now we're going on a scavenger hunt to find the bay leaves and take them out before serving. Man, this smelled delicious, and it'll be even more delicious the next day. For any stew, I like to cook it a day ahead and let it sit so that the flavors seep into the chicken and vegetables. If you're like me and the billions of other people on this planet, we can't possibly have the patience to wait a whole day to eat this. Oh, it was so good. And let me tell you, afritada is super satisfying to eat with rice. But if you're cutting back on calories a little bit, you can omit the rice because the potatoes and carrots are enough carbs to fill you up. I know, I feel the shocked faces of Filipinos everywhere who got this far in the video. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe so that you can get notified of our weekly videos, and I'll see you in next week's video. Bye!